She wakes up to the sound of machines breathing for no one. A slow beep, a ventilator arm moving, sterile white lights flickering like dying stars. Rachel Monroe opens her eyes, but her body reacts first. Heart racing, breath sharp, fists clenched. The room feels cold, colder than a hospital should be. And it takes her 3 seconds to understand why. There are no nurses, no doctors, no voices, just rows of empty beds, some with sheets still shaped by where bodies used to be, some covered, some not. She swings her legs over the bed, muscles weak, veins bruised from IV lines she doesn't remember getting. Her hospital gown whispers against the tile as if afraid to make noise. Then she sees it. On the far wall, written in something too dark to be paint, a sentence waits for her like a prophecy. If you're reading this, you're already immune. Her breath catches. What? The word comes out broken, unused. She steps closer, but every footstep echoes like she's trespassing on the last memory of humanity. Her stomach knots. The air tastes metallic, like fear. She finds her chart hanging from the end of the bed. The last entry, Monroe, Rachel. Subject, 1 row 1, immune. Priority, capture alive status, high value biologic. Her hands shake. She drops the chart. A chime rings overhead, too calm for what it says. Detecting untagged survivor in Wing C. Quarantine drones inbound. 3 minutes. That's when she runs. Her bare feet slap the floor, leaving ghost-like trails across the tile. The lights flicker again, and something mechanical hums beyond the corridor, like wings made of metal. She bursts into the hall. Bodies are everywhere. Covered, abandoned, wheelchairs tipped over, a gurney smashed against a wall, something burned in the corner, melted plastic stuck to the tiles. "Hello?" she calls. "Is anyone?" A shadow passes over her from the ceiling. Drone. It hovers, scanning, camera lens dilating. The voice plays again, but this time from the machine itself. Rachel Monroe. Surrender for processing. Resistance will result in termination. Her throat tightens. How do you know my name? No answer. Just a targeting laser crawling across her chest like a blood-red insect. She dives. The laser fires, searing the wall behind her. Alarms shriek. The drone rotates its chassis with mechanical anger and charges. Rachel sprints, throws herself through the first door she sees. Surgery prep. She slams it shut and locks it. The drone slams into the door a second later, metal creaking, the handle jerking violently under its weight. Rachel's eyes dart. She grabs a mask of reinforced carbon, straps trembling as she yanks it on. Air hisses against the filters. There's a window, 2nd floor. She climbs onto a counter, throws her shoulder against the glass, and it cracks. Again. On the 4th hit, it bursts outward. Alarms howl as she throws herself through. She hits the awning below hard, pain singing through her spine, rolls off the edge and drops into a pile of dead leaves. She gasps, looks up. The drone squeezes through the broken window. She runs, across the parking lot, past overturned ambulances, past chalk messages written in haste. We tried. Forgive us. Stay human. A tablet lies beside a body slumped against a tire. The screen flickers with dying battery, but Rachel taps it. A video loads. A man in scrubs. Pale, exhausted. Eyes red like he hasn't slept in days. If you're watching this, Rachel, I'm so sorry. His voice cracks. They found out you survived. You're the only one. You have to go west. Sanctuary Labs, Palo Alto. You're the last chance. Don't let them take you. He leans closer, voice a whisper. Your blood is the cure. They don't want to heal the world. They want to own it. Static swallows the image. A map pops up next. A route highlighted in blue. Checkpoints, danger zones, scans of ruined cities. Rachel stumbles backward, tablet clattering to the pavement. No, I'm not. I can't. A roar overhead, not thunder. Helicopters. She dodges behind a car, heart ricocheting inside her ribs. A spotlight sweeps the street. She watches boots rappel down, gas masks, exosuits, weapons designed for war, not rescue. New Order sanitary force is stamped on their armor. A voice booms through a speaker. Rachel Monroe, you are property of the state. Surrender your immunity. She bolts. The soldiers chase. Gunfire erupts, bullets sparking off metal and concrete. A drone dives toward her again. She leaps onto a truck hood and smashes it with a fallen road sign. The drone dies, collapsing like an insect. She doesn't wait. She hotwires a Jeep, hands moving from muscle memory she didn't know she had. The engine coughs awake. Gravel spits as the tires grip. She floors it. The Jeep crashes through the gate, chain link snapping like thread. She tears down the road, hospital shrinking in the rear view, the word immune burning in her brain. Hours pass. The world outside the windows is a graveyard of civilization. Gas stations collapsed, highways buried in abandoned cars, billboard screens glitching with emergency messages. Stay indoors, empathy saves, disconnect to die. Every sign looks like a warning made for her. Her radio crackles with static. Then a voice she doesn't recognize. If there's anyone out there, please, please. I'm at mile marker 214. I'm not sick. I don't want to die alone. Rachel slows. Her hand hovers over the dial. She thinks of the doctor's message, the soldiers, the drones. She keeps driving, but a mile later, a flare shoots into the sky. Red. A scream follows. Short. Cut off. Rachel slams the brakes. No, don't, please. But her body is already moving. She grabs a crowbar from the trunk, pulls on the carbon mask, and slips through the fog. Mile marker 214 stands like a tombstone over the highway. A man kneels in the road, hands behind his head. A drone hovers above him. He sees her, pleads silently. Rachel steps forward. The drone targets her, and before it fires, a shot rings out. The drone explodes. The man falls forward. Rachel raises the crowbar instinctively, backing away. A figure steps from the shadows, lowering a rifle. He's bleeding, limping, but his aim is steady. Don't run, he says. Rachel freezes. He raises a hand, palm open. I'm not with them. She hesitates. Who are you? Daniel. He coughs. Daniel Ward. Why help him? She nods to the man on the road. Why help me? Daniel's jaw clenches. His voice is raw. Because I helped create the virus. Rachel's blood goes cold. He sees her fear. Nods like he expected it. I thought we were building a cure, he says. A cure for genetic disease, for depression, for trauma. A cure for everything broken in us. He laughs without humor. Turns out we were building the perfect weapon. Rachel's grip tightens on the crowbar. Daniel lowers his gun. Lets it fall to the road. If you want to kill me, he says quietly, you'd be doing the world a favor. But if you want to survive, you get in the car. Sanctuary isn't just a lab. It's the last chance any of us have. They stare at each other. Rachel's heart wants to run. Her mind wants to scream. But her instincts, the ones that kept her alive in that hospital, whisper something else. Trust is a risk, but isolation is a death sentence. She nods once. Daniel picks up his gun, hands shaking. He walks to a pickup truck half covered in dust and climbs in. Rachel follows. For a moment, they sit there in silence. Then Daniel speaks. Did anyone ever tell you, he says softly, why the virus kills some people instantly and others not at all? Rachel turns. Daniel looks at her like he's afraid of the answer. It reacts to empathy, he says. The less you feel, the faster it consumes you. The more numb you are to suffering, the quicker you die. Rachel swallows hard. So people who cared survived. People who could still feel, Daniel corrects. People who weren't broken completely. It's not about goodness, it's about connection. Rachel looks at her hands. Connection. The thing she ran from long before the world ended. Daniel starts the truck. Outside, dawn breaks. For the first time, Rachel sees the country in daylight. the bones of civilization glowing gold in the sunrise. She doesn't feel safe, but she feels something she hasn't felt since waking up. Possibility. The truck rolls forward toward the horizon, toward the unknown, toward sanctuary. They don't notice the silhouette watching from the ridge above, or the drone that quietly follows, or the soldier reporting into his earpiece. We have visual on subject number 01, proceeding to intercept. The truck rattles over cracked asphalt as the morning light sharpens into day. Silence settles between them like a passenger neither invited. Rachel watches the world slide by through dirty windows. Fields overtaken by weeds, storefronts shattered, billboards for products that no longer exist. A crow perches on a telephone pole, tilting its head like it's judging them for surviving. Daniel keeps both hands on the wheel. His knuckles are white. Finally, Rachel says, "You said Sanctuary isn't just a lab. What is it then?" Daniel exhales, slow. "It's a failsafe. Built in secret. Off the books." He swallows. If the project went wrong, Sanctuary was supposed to fix it. But it didn't. It couldn't. The virus mutated, faster than we modeled, and then he goes quiet. The sentence hangs unfinished, like a ghost. Rachel leans back, turns her face toward the window. "How long was I out?" Daniel's grip tightens. He hesitates. 42 days. Rachel's breath stops in her chest. 42? You mean you were in a coma? The hospital kept you alive. Then the generators failed. Everything else failed. Daniel's voice cracks. "I thought you died. We all did." A beat of silence. Rachel finally whispers, "Why me?" Daniel keeps his eyes on the road. "Because you mattered to someone." Her heart stutters. "Who?" But Daniel just shakes his head. Before she can push, something flashes on the horizon, glinting metal. Daniel slams the brakes. Rachel lurches forward, catching herself on the dashboard. Ahead of them, a checkpoint. Not abandoned, not destroyed, guarded. A massive barricade of armored trucks blocks the interstate. Drones hover in formation like vultures with cameras. Soldiers in exosuits stand atop the vehicles, rifles trained on the road. A holographic sign flickers. Authorized zone. Immune subjects will be detained. Rachel's blood runs cold. Daniel kills the engine. "What do we do?" she whispers. "We don't go through it." He points to an overgrown service road to the right. We go around. But before he can shift gears, engines roar behind them. They turn. 2 armored bikes speed toward them, lights strobing, weapons mounted on the handlebars. New Order Sanitary Force insignias gleam like polished bones. Rachel's pulse spikes. They found us. Daniel slams the truck into reverse. Gravel sprays. He spins the wheel and floors it down the service road. The bikes follow. Trees whip past, branches clawing at the windows. The path narrows to a dirt trail. The truck fishtails, mud splattering. Daniel's jaw clenches. "Hold on." A rider pulls up beside them, aiming a taser rifle. Rachel reacts before she thinks. She leans out the window, crowbar in hand, air slamming into her face. She swings. Metal meets metal. Sparks rain. The taser misfires, short-circuiting. The soldier jerks, bike wobbling, crashing into the brush. Rachel collapses back into the truck, gasping. Daniel stares at her, stunned. "Where did you learn to do that?" "I didn't," she says, shaking. "I just did." The second rider accelerates ahead of them, cutting them off. He leaps from the bike, landing on the hood with animal grace. His visor reflects Rachel's face back at her, twisted and terrified. He raises a blade built from some alloy that hums with electricity. Daniel screams, "Get down!" The blade pierces the windshield. The glass explodes inward. The soldier yanks the weapon free, readying another strike. Rachel lunges. She grabs the blade with both hands without thinking. Pain sears her palms like static biting skin. The soldier hesitates, confused, because she's not being electrocuted. She's immune, not just to the virus, to them. She twists the blade. The soldier loses balance. Daniel slams the brakes. Momentum throws the soldier forward, tumbling off the hood as the truck screeches to a stop inches from a ravine. Silence. Rachel's breath comes in broken gasps. Blood drips from her palms. The blade lies at her feet, still crackling with residual current. Daniel stares at her hands. That shouldn't be possible. Rachel stares too. The wounds close. Slowly. Like the skin remembers how to be whole. She whispers, "What did they do to me?" Daniel answers without looking at her, voice shaking. "Made you the cure, or the weapon. Depends on who wins." A helicopter thunders in the distance. No time to process. Daniel throws the truck into gear. They drive deeper into the forest, abandoning the road, branches grinding against the sides like fingernails. After 10 minutes, he kills the engine, and they roll to a stop beside an old ranger station choked by ivy. They rush inside. The door collapses behind them. Dust motes dance in the slants of light through broken windows. A map of the region is pinned to the wall, faded, torn. Daniel lights a lantern. Rachel wraps her hands. "Tell me everything," she says. No fear now. Just demand. Daniel sits heavily on a crate. He looks smaller suddenly, human, remorseful. "You were part of a trial," he begins. "Volunteers testing a vaccine for autoimmune disorders. Only, it wasn't just that. The serum was designed to enhance emotional regulation, increase empathy, boost mirror neuron function, make people better." Rachel swallows. "Better how?" "Less violent, less cruel, less indifferent." He rubs his face. It worked. Too well. The brain became dependent on the serum. When the virus strain was introduced, meant to interact with it, it mutated, became something else, something alive. He meets her eyes. The virus learned to feed on emotional absence, on people who felt nothing, who disconnected. Rachel whispers, "It killed apathy." "Yes," Daniel says. "And then it killed everyone else by accident." Rachel thinks of the wall in the hospital. If you're reading this, you're already immune. Her chest tightens. "Why am I the only one left?" "You weren't the only one," he says quietly. "Not at first." Rachel's voice trembles. "What happened to the others?" Daniel looks at the map instead of her. Some were taken by the new order. Some refused to go underground. Some couldn't live with what they'd become. Rachel feels nausea crawl up her throat. "What am I, Daniel?" "A key," he says, "or a lock. Sanctuary can use your blood to synthesize a cure strong enough to reset the virus, shut it down, maybe even restore immune function in survivors." Rachel nods slowly. "So we go to Sanctuary, and we fix this." Daniel looks away. "It's not that simple." Rachel's voice hardens. "Why not?" He meets her eyes. "Because they'll kill me before we get there." Rachel steps closer. "Why would they?" "They need you. Not me." His voice shatters. "I helped build the virus. I'm not a loose end. I'm a liability." Before she can respond, a low beep hums from a corner of the room. Rachel spins, crowbar raised, a transceiver radio. Rusted, battery light blinking. Then, a voice. Broken, distorted, familiar. "Rachel, if you're alive, if you can hear this, I'm sorry." Rachel's knees nearly buckle. She knows that voice. She doesn't know how, but she knows. It's the man from the hospital video. "Dr. Hayes," Daniel whispers. "I thought he—" The voice continues. "I don't know if Sanctuary is still operational. If it is, they'll use you. Don't trust—" Static. "Not what you think, Static. We didn't know what it would turn you into." Rachel yanks the radio closer. "Turn me into what?" Silence. Then a whisper like a confession. "The cure evolved." The line dies. Rachel looks at Daniel, heart in her throat. What does that mean? Daniel doesn't answer, because the sound of engines drowns everything out. Spotlights slice through the trees. The building trembles as something lands outside. Heavy, metallic. A mech suit, taller than a person. Its boots crush the earth. It turns, hydraulics hissing, and the visor glows with targeting symbols. A voice booms from loudspeakers. Subject number 1, you have been located. Stand down or be neutralized. Rachel grabs Daniel's arm. We run. Daniel shakes his head. We won't make it. Rachel looks him dead in the eyes. We have to. The mech punches through the wall, splinters exploding like shrapnel. Rachel and Daniel dive, rolling across the floor. Brick dust fills the air. The mech reaches inside, massive hand closing around Rachel's leg. She screams. The grip is crushing, metal claws digging into her skin. She slams the crowbar down. Sparks bounce harmlessly. The mech lifts her, pulling her toward the whir of its containment unit. Daniel fires his rifle. The bullets ricochet like rain. The mech's voice is calm. Cold. Surrender. Your resistance is inefficient. Rachel's pulse pounds. Pain explodes. She feels something rise in her chest. Hot, electric, alive. Her skin glows. Just for a second. Like nerves burning with light. The mech jolts. Motors stutter. It emits a glitching sound, like a scream filtered through static. Rachel's body moves before her brain catches up. She touches the mech's wrist. Sparks flood the metal. Circuits overload. The armor begins to fail, plates peeling back like petals. She tears free. The mech collapses, shaking the ground. Rachel staggers back, staring at her hands. They're glowing faintly, cracks of gold beneath the skin fading like dying embers. Daniel watches, horror and awe mixing in his eyes. He whispers, Rachel, what are you? Rachel doesn't know, but she knows this. She can't be caught. She can't be controlled. She can't be owned. She grabs Daniel's hand. We go to Sanctuary, now. They flee into the woods, headlights cutting through darkness as engines roar to life behind them. Drones rise like a swarm. The chase begins again. As the truck disappears down the mountain trail, a soldier in the ruins of the ranger station activates his comms. Copy that. Subject number 1 has manifested. It's happening. A pause. Yes, sir. I'll tell them. He looks at the crushed mech, sparks still spitting like fireworks. She's evolving. Rain lashes the windshield as the truck claws its way down the mountain road. Mud sprays, branches snap under the tires. Rachel grips the dashboard, knuckles white. Daniel leans forward, eyes narrowed, focusing on the thin ribbon of road illuminated by their headlights. Behind them, distant lights snake through the trees. Pursuers, closing in. Rachel's heart thrums like a warning. She can still feel the echo of that glow beneath her skin. It scares her more than the soldiers, more than the drones, more than the world ending. What's happening to me? She whispers. Daniel doesn't look away from the road. I think the serum bonded with you on a level we never predicted. Your immunity isn't just biological, it's adaptive. His voice tightens. Rachel, you're the next stage. Rachel shakes her head. No, I don't want to be. You don't get to choose, Daniel snaps. Then his voice softens. None of us do. The truck skids around a bend. Ahead, the tree line breaks, opening into a valley. And there, like a mirage in the storm, is Sanctuary, a sprawling research compound. High walls overgrown with vines, floodlights dead, a broken gate hanging by twisted metal, the logo still visible through rust. Sanctuary Biotech, to heal, not to rule. Rachel exhales. We made it. Daniel's jaw clenches. Not yet. He parks at the edge of the road, engine rumbling like a warning animal. They step out. The rain is freezing. The storm whips their clothes, plastering them to their skin. Daniel slings his rifle. Rachel clutches the crackling blade she tore from the soldier. the alloy humming when she holds it like it recognizes her. They move toward the gate. The wind howls through broken windows. Doors swing on dead hinges. Ivy drapes over shattered skylights like veins. Sanctuary feels alive, but not in a way that welcomes. The front doors are open. Daniel hesitates. We go in together. Rachel nods. They enter. Darkness swallows them. Emergency lights flicker. The air smells of ozone and sterile chemicals. Machines hum, but there's no power source she can see. It's like the building is breathing on its own. Daniel raises a flashlight. The beam cuts through dust. They pass reception desks, overturned chairs, medical charts scattered like fallen leaves. On the wall, motivational posters still hang. Compassion is a science. The future is empathy. We fix what hurts. Rachel shivers. A noise echoes down the hall. Footsteps. Not marching. Not hurried. Slow. Measured. Rachel and Daniel freeze. A man steps into view. White hair matted, lab coat stained, eyes sunken like sleep abandoned him long ago. Rachel recognizes him. Dr. Hayes, she whispers. He smiles, not kindly, not cruelly, just resigned. Rachel Monroe, he says, alive, evolving. He looks at her hands. Magnificent. Daniel raises his gun. Back up. Hayes lifts his palms. If I wanted you dead, Mr. Ward, we wouldn't be speaking. Rachel steps forward. You lied to me. You lied to everyone. Hayes' eyes soften. I never lied. I just didn't tell the whole truth. Daniel spits. You made a bioweapon. Hayes chuckles, bitter. No. We made a mirror. Humanity looked at its own reflection and died from what it saw. Rachel's chest tightens. You used us. We used everyone. Because the world refused to heal itself. Hayes walks closer, unafraid. But you, Rachel, you are proof healing is possible. She backs away. I'm not your experiment. No, Hayes agrees. You're the result. Thunder cracks above them. The lights surge. Panels slide open along the walls. And behind glass, hundreds of vials pulse with light, like captured stars. Hayes motions. Your blood activated the final protocol. Sanctuary is ready to deploy the cure. He smiles sadly. You did it. Rachel doesn't feel triumphant. She feels like the floor is falling away. Daniel aims the gun at Hayes' head. What's the catch? Hayes sighs. The cure needs a carrier, something compatible with the virus's adaptive structure, someone the virus responds to, someone immune to both disease and lethality. His gaze meets Rachel's. It needs her. Rachel steps back. No. Daniel shakes his head. We can synthesize a delivery system. You can't, Hayes whispers. The virus is alive. It needs connection. It responds to emotion, not chemistry. He gestures to Rachel, eyes glistening. She can project it, through touch, through proximity, through will. Rachel's blood turns to ice. You want me to infect the world again? Hayes shakes his head. No, you'd free it, reset the virus, reboot humanity. You'd unlock what's left inside people, their empathy, their connection, their chance. Daniel turns to her. Rachel, if this goes wrong, you could kill whoever's left. Rachel's pulse pounds. The storm outside rumbles like a heartbeat. Dr. Hayes steps closer. Someone has to choose. Someone always has to choose. Rachel's voice is a whisper. Why me? Hayes smiles, and for a moment he looks like the man in the video. The man who begged her to run. Because you cared, even when the world didn't deserve it. A crash interrupts them. The doors behind them rip open. Soldiers flood in. Exosuits, rifles raised, helmets reflecting the emergency lights. Drones swarm overhead, and between them, towering above the rest, 2 new mech units larger than the first, sleeker, built for capture. A voice crackles through loudspeakers. Subject number 1, You are the property of the New Order Sanitary Force. Surrender, and we will spare your companion. Rachel steps in front of Daniel. No, Daniel whispers. Don't. Rachel raises the blade. Lightning crackles along its surface. The glow beneath her skin returns, brighter this time, gold, fierce, alive. I'm done surrendering, she says. The soldiers open fire. Time slows. Rachel moves. She doesn't dodge. She reaches. Bullets bend away from her, veering like metal repelled by magnets. Drones malfunction midair, lights flickering. The mech suits glitch, voice modulators distorting. Rachel charges. The blade cleaves through armor, slicing like light-cutting shadow. Sparks erupt. Metal screams. A mech falls to one knee, systems failing. Rachel touches its chest. The glow surges. Circuits melt. It collapses. Daniel fires beside her, protecting her flank. Hayes crouches behind a console, entering commands with trembling fingers. Rachel, he shouts. You need to activate the release. The interface is in the core chamber. Go. She carves a path through the soldiers, leaving a trail of sparking armor and shattered drones. Daniel covers her. They run. Down a corridor lit by emergency strips, past containment chambers filled with dark water, past research wings turned graveyards for science. They reach the core, a chamber like the heart of a cathedral. Cylinders of fluid rise like pillars. The air hums, warm and electric. A central console waits, handprint scanner glowing. Rachel stops. Daniel watches her. Rainwater drips from his hair, mixing with sweat and blood. His voice is soft. We don't know what happens if you do this. Rachel nods. We don't know what happens if I don't. She places her hand on the scanner. It warms. The glow rises up her arm like liquid light. Symbols flicker on the screen. Cure sequence ready carrier confirmed. Subject Andar-01. Empathic release protocol initiated. Daniel steps closer. Rachel, whatever happens, stay with me, she whispers. I will. The system hums. A pulse of energy surges through her. Not pain. Not pleasure. Transcendence. She sees light. Not with her eyes, with her mind. She feels every heart in the building. Fear. Rage. Regret. Hope. Thousands of emotional signatures burned into memory. She feels the soldiers. Feel again. She feels Hayes break. She feels Daniel breathe, and she feels the virus inside her blood. Bend. Obey. A wave of gold bursts from her like a shockwave, silent, bright, warm. It expands outward, passing through walls, through bodies, through machines. The soldiers drop their weapons, some sobbing without understanding why. Drones fall like leaves. The remaining mech suits power down, kneeling as if in prayer. Outside, the storm breaks. Clouds tear open. Moonlight spills across the world. Rachel's knees buckle. Daniel catches her. Rachel, stay with me. She can't feel her body. Just the light. The cure escapes through her pores, her breath, her heartbeat. She is the release, the vessel, the bridge. The glow fades. Her vision blurs. Did it work? She breathes. Daniel looks around. Soldiers sit dazed, removing masks, touching their faces like they're seeing themselves for the first time. Hayes kneels, crying, undone. It worked, Daniel says. Rachel, you saved them. She smiles weakly. Good. Someone needed to. Her eyes flutter. Daniel holds her tighter. Don't. Rachel, stay awake. She manages a whisper. If I don't wake up, promise me something. Daniel's voice breaks. Anything. Don't let them turn this into another weapon. Don't let them use what's left of me to... He presses his forehead to hers. I won't. I swear. Her breath trembles. Then, a heartbeat, echoing in her chest like a drum. Stronger, brighter. The glow returns, not fading, growing. Daniel pulls back, stunned. Rachel, your pulse, it's... She inhales sharply, and a spark ignites behind her eyes. A new voice fills her mind. Not hers, not Hayes's, not Daniel's. A collective. A chorus. We are here. Rachel gasps. The cure. It's not just in me anymore. She looks at Daniel, eyes glowing. It's in everyone. Hayes steps into the doorway, shaking. You connected us. A neural network of empathy, a world where suffering isn't silent anymore. Rachel stands, steady now. Changed. More than human. Less alone. She walks past the fallen soldiers. They watch her, not with fear, but recognition. Outside, the sky clears completely. Stars burn bright. The world feels like it's breathing again. Daniel steps beside her. What now? He asks. Rachel looks at the horizon. The first birds in weeks take flight, cutting across the sky. Now, she says, we rebuild. A radio crackles nearby, left behind by the soldiers. A signal comes through. Different. Softer. If you can hear this, we're alive. We're coming back. Don't give up. Daniel looks at her. They'll come for you again. Rachel nods. Let them. I'm not running anymore. Across the valley, lights blink on in distant towns, one by one, like stars falling to earth. Humanity waking up. The camera pulls back. Rachel stands at the gates of Sanctuary, Daniel at her side, the world waiting. And in a voice barely louder than the wind, she says, I wasn't the last immune person, I was the first healed one. Cut to black. Silence. Then breathing. A heartbeat. End.
So, that's the end of this story, but there are plenty of other great ones right here. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that little bell.